So now that we've got our application, we're able to add a new customer. And just as soon as we add a new customer, it walks us through those extra steps where we can write into our second table. And then when we click complete, it takes us back here to view all customers. So the addition is working well. We just need to be able to select one of these customers and edit them and delete them. So that's what we're going to work on now. So from this View All Customers page, I'm going to need to add this Select button. So let me get into the Grid View, Edit Columns, Hyperlink Field, and add it. Navigate URL fields. So we're going to move from the grid view into the details view based on user ID. And we're going to call our details view CustomerDetails.aspx. User ID equals 0. Text will be select. Okay, so this should look pretty familiar from the other master details that we've done. What's basically happened now, we've got a hyperlink field here that says select. When you click on that select, then the user ID is passed back to the details view. So let's save it up and let's make sure that that's appearing in our browser. And it appears, but it's not doing anything right now. Okay, we need to add a customer details. Okay, let's get in here, get into the design view. I'm going to add a form. So we're going to do this a little differently than we have done our others with the details view. So let's look for the ASP form. Form view, and I've added it. Choose data source. I need to add in a new data source here. It's a SQL data source. I'm going to specify a custom URL because we're going to do a few different things here. Get into Query Builder. And I want to add 3 tables here. I want the roles table, the users table, those are from ASP, and then I want my user profile table. Okay. To create an association here, and then here's those keys are defined. It's around over here so I can see it. And the information I would like to collect is first name, last name, city, code, username, and role name. So basically what's happening here, everything is being driven by this ASP users table. So when we pass user ID, I need to capture that as well. So when we pass the user ID, we're going to grab first name, last name, city, and postal code. For that user ID, we're also going to grab username. And for that user, we're also going to grab their role name, so whether they're an administrator or whatever the case may be. So that will be our select statement. Let's finish that. Okay. So let's give this just a quick test and see how the select is working. Okay, I can see the first name, the last name, the city, the postal code, the username, and their role, and then the user ID down here as well. Alright, so it's selecting correctly. Now I just need to be able to go in and edit and delete these. So let's take a look at that. Okay, there's the edit item template and the item template. Those are the two things that we're interested in. View. Template editing. So now when I come back here, I can see when I get into the code, I can see that from that form view, after I went in and I clicked into the edit item template, I now have the item template here. Alright, and I also have an insert item template, and I also have an item template. So when this thing first comes up, when I've selected a customer and it comes in here, it's going to display item template. Item template's going to need an edit button, so that when I click on that edit button, it will go up to edit item template. It's also going to need a delete button, so when I click on the delete button, it will go away. It'll delete the customer. The insert item template, we're not going to use that one for this scenario. So I'm going to do some cutting and pasting and get this set up the way I want it to look, and then I will explain to you how I've got it set up. So after considerable cutting and pasting here, I've got a functional site. It's doing what I wanted it to do. Here in design view, I've gone into the grid view. I've enabled paging and enabled sorting, so that if we have too many records, I can go to the next page. Also, then I can sort by first name, last name, city, postal code. I can do whatever I wanted to do there. When I click select, then the user ID is passed. The user ID for this particular user that's selected is passed back to customer details view. In customer details, I've got a few things going on. Looking at it from the source code is probably the easiest way to understand it. So the first thing that's happening within that the content 2, or within from the master pages within the content that updates, there's a form view. And remember, I went into that form view and I did the edit template, and that gives me those extra options. I could just as easily type them in. But basically what happens within form view, item template is what comes up. So when I am here and I select one, this is the item template. that's displaying here. And I just created a table. Each like first name, last name, all those kinds of things are a table row, and then table data makes it the two cells. I've aligned one right and I've aligned one left just to kind of clean things up. So I'm getting first name, last name, city, and state. Then I've just stuck in a blank line there just for spacing. And then I'm going to show you the user ID, the username. Now remember, the username is not the first name or last name, it's what they use to log in, and their particular role. And then I close up the table. The details of how we're adding all of these are over here. We're basically doing an eval or a bind for each one to get the data. Here. And at the very end of my table, I've put in two buttons. I've put in an ASP button that's an edit button, and I've put in an ASP button that's a delete button. The command name for the edit button is edit. The text is displaying is edit. Causes validation is false. The delete button, it's false. The command name is delete. The text is delete. We've got a couple other things going on with this delete button. On click, I've got a delete button click. So this is when I click that button, this will be the event that fires, and we'll look at that here in a minute in the code behind. The other thing I've done is I've put in an onClientClick return this message. Are you sure you want to delete this customer record? And we'll take a look at how that works here in just a minute. After I've got my two buttons in there, then I can close up my item template. This item template is working from the select statement. So in my SQL data source, remember we went in and we configured the select statement where we added those other tables in there, created the keys, and then went in and picked what we wanted. So this was the select statement that I had, and these were my select parameters. It was basically off of, everything was based off of the user ID. So that's the select portion that gets us this. Now I can click on the edit. As soon as I click on the edit, it looks a little different. The edit portion is up here. It's just another template under formview, the edit item template. So here it opens, here it closes. This was the one where we were just viewing, and you can see that it opens and closes as well. So this edit item template, again, it's just a table that I've aligned the data left and right, created the different rows in there. The one thing that's kind of different or kind of special about this is the drop-down list. How we had to get it in there as the data for the state, on the right hand, the table data in the right hand column for the state. And you'll notice that in order to see all of those states, we need a SQL data source that can do that for us. SQL data source 1. I believe it's here at the, it must be at the bottom as well. It's right at the bottom of the edit template, SQL data source 1. It's just another data source, only here we're just grabbing the postal codes from the table and displaying them. But nothing too fancy with that. A couple other things that are of interest here. When you click into this, you can go in here and edit this. That's fine. You can update, and it sticks. The X comes back there at the end. I can change states, and this should stick as well, and it is. But I don't want them editing username, nor do I want them editing roles. So you can see them. They appear like the others here, but they're grayed out. You're not able to get in there to change them. We've done that here. Enabled false. I've put that for the username and for the role name. It does not, so that they can't be accidentally changed. Alright, at the end of that we have the update button and the cancel button. Alright, and those just do what they're supposed to do. Here, the update button, we're going to need the SQL code to update. So we're going to come down here to the update. Alright, for the update command. We're going to update into the user profile. We're going to set the first name equal to the whatever we have up there, the last name equal to whatever's up there, city, postal code, where the user ID is equal to the user ID that's been selected here. So this is just a simple update command. Our update parameters: first name, last name, city, postal code, user ID. The other thing that I can do within this within this view is delete. Now notice when I delete, it's going to write back a label that tells me which record has been deleted, and it's going to highlight the name. So watch closely as we click delete here. So let's delete this. Here is the "Are you sure you want to delete?" And that was the onClientClick. Okay. And here's the label that's written back. I've put that label right down here at the very bottom. Label deleted customer. And then in the code behind, I'm writing into that. Okay, so that's the edit template item. We're not doing an insert item here. If you want to insert a customer, you're going to have to go through the create user wizard and go that route through the add new customer page. So there's no need to have the insert item template here. Although with the delete, we are looking at the delete for the delete command. Delete from ASP.NET users where the user ID is equal to the user ID. ASP.NET users, everything else cascades from there. So if you delete that user in ASP.NET users, it will also delete that user in the TR_user profile. Alright, so this is the main one. The others cascade from there. So delete it from there, it'll automatically get deleted from the others that are set to cascade. And our delete parameter that we need is user ID. So this will makes the delete work correctly. Okay, so this is the code. Let's look at the code behind real quick. I needed a few things up here just to make some of these things work. So these imports, those need to be added at the very top, above any classes or anything like that. Then I'm going to have some particular subroutines. So when the delete button is clicked, then we're going to declare a variable. We're going to get the username that's getting deleted. If the variable is not nothing, so if there's something there, then we're going to declare another variable here as a string with that user.text. Then membership .delete user. So these are methods that come to us from this roles and membership. So we're actually using some built-in methods here to delete the user. We're going to delete that particular username from the database, from ASP.NET users database. Once we delete that username, then everything else cascades from there. So that's how we're going to delete. Remember that box that pops up we're taking care of through the onClientClick. If formview 1 has the item deleted event fire, then we're going to capture, in this case it's just the first name. You can capture whatever you wanted here. We're going to write back into that label that I created, into the text property of that label, the record, and here we've got deleted record highlight as a class. So in our tool rental CSS, I've got a deleted record highlight. Then we're going to say what we've deleted has been deleted from the database. Then here we're doing the response add header, refresh, give it 3 seconds, and then pass this back to the view all customers ASPX. The other event that we've got firing is if formview 1 has an item updated event. So after you've clicked edit and then you've clicked update, the view all customers, we're going to response redirect to the view all customers page. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the customer details page to make that work, but it works pretty smoothly, pretty fluidly. We're able to keep track of a lot of that information, edit it, delete it, those kinds of things. So I know there's a lot of minute details here. I'll make sure that the code gets posted up so that you'll have that to work with along with the video.